Inflation. Now, you've got to be 40 years old to even know what the word means because it kind of disappeared, but it's back. What is inflation? Well, I'll tell you. It's a disease of money and it's caused by government. We have seen, since the beginning of this pandemic, vast money creation by government. In America, it's amazing to think, 28% of all dollars in circulation have been produced since 2020. It's mind-blowing. So what it means is we have more money in the system chasing the same number of goods and services. And surprise, surprise, that leads to shortages. I noticed there was no diesel at my local station this morning. And of course it leads to a rise in prices. And yet, one of the things that has amazed me over the last couple of years is how little central banks, politicians, governments understand about the problem that they themselves have helped to create. Let's have a look at Prime Minister Boris Johnson speaking as recently as October.
Are you worried about inflation? And I'm very encouraged.
Are you worried about inflation?
I'm very encouraged by the growth that I'm seeing.
I understand. Are you worried about inflation?
Well, people have been worrying about inflation for a very long time. I'm looking at robust economic growth, and by the way, those fears have been unfounded.
The fears are unfounded, and it wasn't just him, it was the Bank of England and many other people. The fears are unfounded, and then when they realised inflation was happening, they said, don't worry, it's merely transitory. And now that the official inflation rate has hit 7%, but perhaps more significantly, the retail price index, which is how we used to measure it, has hit 9.9%, way the highest for 30 years and heading towards the highest in 40 years. And even though we've got to that level, I still genuinely don't think that our political class understand what the impact of this is actually going to be. Now look, politicians, TV presenters, those that are well paid, they cannot, in my opinion, fully understand because they're out of touch with the impact of this on millions of folk. They're out of touch with the fear that many people are going through right now. And I say this because the first utility bills from Q1 are beginning to land on people's mats, and people are genuinely scared. So, I have to say, I can't pretend that my life is going to be fundamentally affected with an official inflation rate of 7%, but it is for millions of people. Their disposable income is going to fall. My guess is it will be pubs, restaurants, entertainment, where people spend their disposable income. My guess is they're the parts of the economy that will really hurt. Maybe people will genuinely turn the heating down. Either way, we're headed economically for the toughest year for decades, and it will affect many millions of people. So please, if you're worried about this, if you're concerned, tell me, how will inflation change your life? Let me know. Farage at gbnews.uk.